it's Tony from CassetteComeback.com, coming to you live from the monsoon that is summer 2019 in the UK. So, sorry about the old pitter-patter which you'll be getting in the background, but it's pouring down. What can I do? So, today's video is going to be on ICM cassettes. And ICM, a bit like BASF and SKC and Saihan and Rax, are a company that made a lot of cassettes for other people. Now, these three right in front of me are all ICM cassettes, but they're all slightly different. Now, Boots in the UK is their biggest chemist, but back in the day, Boots used to be the place to go for cassettes, CDs, videos, computer systems and computer games, and they also had a lot of their own blank cassettes. Now, the most notable ones come from sort of the late 80s onwards, which were made by Maxell. But before that, they used to have ICM making them. And this cassette couldn't come from any other time period apart from the 80s. I mean, look at it. But as we can see there, Swiss-made precision cassette mechanism. And if we look on the back, wow, that's so 80s. Yeah. This is a really top-notch type one. In fact, if we look at this without the case, this is one of my favourite all-clear shells. Now, initially this was called the turbo shell because of, well, the snake oil cassette that this is. I mean, the cassette itself isn't snake oil, it's just all the marketing behind it, you know, turbo hubs and cooling and blah, blah, blah. But take that away, this is very much a sort of ersatz TDK MAR sort of shell, the frosting giving the impression that this has got like the metal alloy outer shell that an MAR and MAXG has, even though it's all plastic. But this is a lovely, lovely shell, really well made. The hubs are really nice. I like the silver plastic. This is a lovely cassette. Now, Dixon's in the UK used to be the biggest high street electrical retailer. And these are branded Dixon's, but Seisho was Dixon's in-house brand, if you will, a bit like, you know, Walmart now has On. Seisho used to be for Dixon's, and I used to ignore these cassettes because they were always thought of as being low-end. Why would I buy these when I could buy, you know, TDKs and Maxell for not much more money, which were a known quantity? So I ignored these, which is a shame because, as it turns out, both of these are ICM as well. If we look at the back, made in Switzerland, and basically if it says made in Switzerland, you're pretty sure it's going to be ICM. And again, the Dixon's there, made in Switzerland. And these have the other distinctive ICM hubs on them. If we look at the Seisho one, again, another really nice sturdy shell. I really like this grid pattern on it. But these hubs here, I call them sausage hubs because they look like little sausages cut out. And again, very distinctive, very good hubs, very good shells. And as it turns out, because all of the tape in ICM is either AGFA or BASF, they sound good too. Now, this Dixon's branded one is a bit different. It's got the same ICM sausage hubs, but this shell is a shell that I've seen BASF use. But it's got the sausage hubs, and again, a really nice cassette. And then a special mention must go to this one, Street Sound. And the reason is because this is one of the most nostalgic cassettes out there for me. Very hard to get hold of. I only have this one. They came in a 5-pack from Dixon's, no J cards, and they came like in a plastic box of 5. They didn't have individual cases, they just came in one plastic box of 5. And they had blue ones and they had yellow ones. Very 80s again. But again, if you look, these have got the ICM sausage hubs, and it's the same grid shell as this Seisho. So essentially these are the same cassettes, just these are more, you know, put it in your boom box, yeah, get down. So these are the ICMs that I have now. I've never had an ICM Type 2 because they're quite hard to find. I imagine that they're going to have BASF and AGFA Pure Chrome Type 2 tape in them, but I've only got Type 1s. But the main focus of today's video are these ICM cassettes. Because these are the actual only ICM branded cassettes that I've ever seen. And this is an interesting box, this. Let me just tilt it up a bit. This is a box of 20, and if you look, we've got the little cutouts here. And it's almost like this box would be something which would be on the counter in a music store or whatever store, by the till maybe, and as you pass in, you know, you can grab yourself a couple of cassettes, or maybe they just made them this way so they didn't have to stack them on the shelves. You can just put it on the shelf, and when someone wants a cassette, just take a cassette out for them. So this is a cassette I'm going to focus on today, the ICM Professional Hi-Fi Super Ferro. Oh, it's got a bit of a crack there, but there we go. This looks like a really nice premium cassette. And if we open it up, it's a really nice shell. Now this shell does remind me of the late 80s, I'm turning American, the late 80s Maxell UDXL2, you know, with the big gold sticker and the big space at the top for the title sticker. Yeah, this looks very much like that, except it's really nice. Look at the way that the gold lettering is superimposed on top of the top there. The ICM logo here, if that was blue, you could almost think it was IBM. It's almost like they were trying to fool people into thinking this was somehow related to IBM. I don't know what ICM stands for, but there's no S in it. I'd imagine, you know, it would have had something like S in it for Schweiz, which means Switzerland, but ICM, International Cassette Manufacturer, not sure. Really, really nice shell, and look at them hubs. Them lovely bronze sort of gold plastic hubs. Quite unique, and again, they've got the sausage cutouts. So that is a really nice looking cassette. Now, I can imagine at some point in the mid-80s, this looking a bit old-fashioned when all clear shells came in, because this tape dates from 1980. But right now, it is one of the best looking retro cool cassettes I've ever seen. Let's have a look inside the box. I mean, the sacrifice of the really nice looking box is that you've got probably the worst J card you've ever seen, except for some of them Sony CD Ultra Slim things. But that's a pretty bad J card. It's not even split into two sides. It's like, well, track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, track 5, track 6. That's the sacrifice for making it look so nice, I guess, when it's in there. I mean, what does it say on the back? See if we can focus in on this, because it's gold with black. No, I don't think we can focus in on this, but it basically says in English: visual tape travel control, high precision cassette housing, steel pins for noiseless tape guidance, special foil assures optimal tape travel. So yeah, so like I say, the old black case as well. I mean, this is proper old school. Labels, meh, the labels. But that's not what it's all about. It's all about this lovely looking shell. And that's the thing with ICMs. The shells are what made them. You know, the Swiss are well known for their precision watches and precision medical instruments. So it only goes to show that, you know, they should make precision cassette shells. And indeed, ICM shells have been used by a lot of other manufacturers. So yeah, ICM, not really unknown, but great shells. And because aesthetics is a big part of this hobby now, I always seek out ICM cassettes if I can. I mean, these, for example, because they're UK only, because they were cheap at the time, and because they don't have a great brand on them, I'm sure lots and lots of them went into landfill, because you'd think we'd be tripping over these. They'll have been made by the millions. Dixon's, Boots, biggest stores in the UK at some point, but they're not. They're incredibly hard to find, which is a shame, because they are really, really good Type 1s. So to demonstrate it, let's take this Super Ferro, which, like I say, I'm not sure what tape is going to be in this, but it will be AGFA or BASF. In fact, I've got my little Nagaoka winder here, so you don't have to put yourself through me fiddling with my fingers anymore. But have a look at the tape in this, if it can focus in. It's just a nice brown ferric. I don't think there's any cobalt dope in here. So let's bias this up and let's have a listen to what this bad boy sounds like. Okay, so the tape is in, it's all biased up. Now, having played around with it for a bit, I'm gonna record this using noise reduction. It's a 1980 ferric cassette, give it a break, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna use Dolby C on this because a lot of you ask why I don't use noise reduction, because I don't like to, mostly. But Dolby C, well, it sounds really good on this tape, so I'm gonna record it in Dolby C. So this is another royalty-free bit of music. It's really nice, so it's got lots of saxophone in it, and strangely enough, it's called sax. So let's have a listen. So there we go. Is that the best ferro I've ever heard? No. Is it a super ferro? No, I don't think it is. Is it gorgeous? It is gorgeous. Like I say, these are more because you want them. If you want a better performing tape for less, get a better performing tape for less. It's just, these are just so beautiful from such an iconic brand with such good looks. I mean, look at them hubs. Put some noise reduction on though, and they still make very, very good recordings. I mean, I didn't hear dropouts there. It's just, yeah. It's all about the looks and the fact they're competent and the fact that they're vintage. Yeah, I like these ones. So there we are. I mean, yeah, you've got to think this is nearly a 40-year-old Type 1. These are the ones, these other ICMs are, they've got maybe 10 years on them, the late 80s, early 90s. But like I say, for something that looks this good, and to be fair, it sounded well. Did it sound the best Ferric ever? No, like I said, but it sounded well. No dropouts, but they just look so good and they're so unique. They've got to be worth a try. And like I say, keep an eye out for the house brands, the Dixons, the Seychelles, the Boots, because some of them have ICM in there as well. And they're all great cassettes. They all really record well, they all look well, and they all have great shelves. So they're another brand which aren't thought of when you think of amazing cassettes, but if you bother to look for them, you're going to find some real treasures. So please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, happy taping. Bye bye.